Yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It's the Wrestling Uncensored AEW Revolution preview. How good was Shaq's AEW debut? Who is the Hall of Fame level talent coming to AEW? And what was your match of the night tonight on Dynamite? Let's go! Yeah, what's up, everybody? I'm Dave. There's Johnny. What's up, Johnny?
Not much. That was a very interesting show this tonight. Very interesting, very enjoyable. I have to say, it felt like.
Yeah, go ahead.
It felt like WCW Nitro. A lot of old WCW vets on the show, but in a good way. Not like WCW 2000, more WCW late 90s. So it was good.
Yeah, it felt like a good episode of Nitro or like a good episode of Raw, old school style. It was good tonight. You know, it was one of the better AEW Dynamites we've seen in a long time. We had a lot going on tonight. We're going to break it all down here on the show. First, I want to give a shout-out to all our members. I'm seeing our members on the chat already. You guys coming in strong. I see you, Patrick C. Hamilton. I see you, Doug Hepburn. I see you, Craig Paquette. I see you, Angelo Cantagones. Shout out to you guys keeping the channel going, keeping us moving. Go to donate.ringsidereport.net. Go to merch.ringsidereport.net. Support the team. We're here after every wrestling show, Raw, AEW Dynamite, and Friday Night SmackDown. We are here to talk about AEW, and we're going to preview AEW Revolution as well here tonight. Now, let's start off with the beginning of the show. Now, of course, everybody's wondering who is the Hall of Fame level talent that they are teasing to announce on Sunday. That's, I think, for me, the biggest mystery coming out of the show and maybe the most pressing matter going into the pay-per-view. Maybe the thing that I'm looking forward to the most coming up on Sunday, a new piece of talent coming to AEW. Who is the Hall of Fame level talent? I'm seeing guesses already on the chat. I'm seeing people saying Kevin Nash. I'm seeing people saying RVD, Christian, Brock Lesnar, Ric Flair. I thought maybe John Cena, CM Punk, Undertaker. We'll talk about it. We'll try to break it down. We'll try and figure out who is most likely. Ryback? Eric Rowan? I mean, who? Who? Kofi Kingston? Who is the most likely Hall of Fame level talent to show up on Sunday at AEW Revolution? And will it really be a Hall of Fame level talent, or are they just saying that? We saw a lot of Hall of Fame level talents here tonight. Let's start with the top of the show. Jade Cargill and Shaq getting the win over Red Velvet and Cody Rhodes. Jade hitting what I think was her version of the Glam Slam on Red Velvet for the pinfall. Did I get that right, John? Was that the same move that Beth Phoenix used to do?
Yeah, pretty much. I think maybe a slight different variation to it, but it was pretty much the same move. And I thought it was fine. I thought Jade was very good tonight. I thought she handled her end of the match, and I thought Shaq as well. I mean, it wasn't the greatest wrestling in the world, but for like a celebrity versus a wrestler match, I thought it was suitable. And, you know, props to Shaq for that bump he took.
Yeah, for two people making their AEW debuts, it was pretty good. Was it the greatest tag team match, the greatest mixed tag team match you've ever seen? Probably not. You want to compare it to other mixed tag team matches, you know? I think the greatest mixed tag team match I've ever seen was probably Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey against Triple H and Stephanie at WrestleMania a few years ago. That was an incredible match. That was Ronda's debut. Was Jade Cargill's debut as impressive as Ronda Rousey's? No, but it was pretty good, right? Was that the greatest mixed tag match in the history of the business? Ronda and Kurt?
It's hard to say. Hard to say because they used a lot of shenanigans in that match. There was a lot of people in the ring way too long, past the 10 count.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like Ronda beating the crap out of Triple H when in mixed tag matches they put the whole rule where it's like the guys can't touch the girls can't touch the guys.
Yeah.
But they let a lot of that slide in that match. There was a lot of shenanigans. Like it was good, it was entertaining, but in terms of like an actual match, like they let a lot of those rules slide.
Yeah, I would put it up there. I would say that match and maybe Luna and Goldust versus Sable and Mark Miro from, I think, WrestleMania 14. Those would be my favorite mixed tag matches of all time. But this one, I think is going to be on the Mount Rushmore of mixed tag matches. Jade Cargill and Shaq. Jade looking like the female version of Psycho Sid in there, just jacked to the gills. Jacked and huge to the point where you don't even understand how it's possible. Shaq does a big chop on Cody in the corner. Those Shaq chops are nasty. After Cody took one, it didn't look like he wanted to take the second. Did you notice that? He took one, and then Shaq kind of put him in the corner, and Cody, he took it again, but he looked like he was trying to walk away from it. That Shaq chop, it's got to hurt, brother. It's got to hurt.
Well, you saw his chest afterwards. I don't know if you saw it, and it was right on his tattoo as well, so that must really hurt a lot. So, oh well. I mean, that's he wants to take that. He wanted to make Shaq look good.
Yeah.
To me, Shaq looked very energetic, so I mean, maybe that's why it was extra hard.
Did it look like Shaq was crying at one point, though? What was going on there? Why were his eyes watering so much? He looked like the Michael Jordan crying meme. What was going on there? Why was Shaq crying?
Well, because they're in Florida, right? And he's a big man, and he sweats a lot. So I'm sure the sweat got all into his eyes. So
it was weird. He looked like he was crying. You noticed that too, though, right? That wasn't just me?
Well, just being as a wrestler, I've had it before where it's just your face gets so red and there's so much sweat. It just, your face gets all red because of that. So I think that's what happened to him.
Yeah. Everybody's saying how great this was, and yeah, it was great, and there were some great moments for sure, and yeah. But there were some moments of this tag team match that I didn't really like Jade Cargill tagging herself in when Shaq is in complete control of the match. Why? Right? Doesn't really make sense. And this match felt this match felt less like a tag team match and more like two singles matches happening at the same time and them just kind of taking turns to do their stuff, right? Jade and Velvet were having their match. Shaq and Cody were having their match. It didn't feel cohesive. There wasn't a hot tag that made sense. No tags really made sense. The people tagged out or tagged themselves in when their team was in control. Usually you tag out when you're in trouble, but that was not the case. They hit a move and then they tag out. It was weird, especially when Shaq was just whooping on Cody, and then Jade's like, let me tag myself in. Why would you do that? Doesn't make sense.
Well, to me, the story they were telling that Jade was kind of in it for herself. She just wanted to get the glory. You saw at the end, Shaq was hurt, and she didn't really seem to care. She was, posing in the ring, flexing.
Yeah.
So it really just seemed like Jade was all about Jade to me.
Was she supposed to do that? Or was she just, is the real person, whatever her name is she really just so into herself? Because she's obviously into herself, right? Is she just so consumed with herself that she didn't notice or didn't remember that she was supposed to show concern for Shaq? Let's not forget the whole reason Jade Cargill is in AEW is because of Shaq, right? Her first promo, the first time she showed up, was to introduce Shaq to AEW in her own weird way in that promo. But here she's like, Shaq's dead, whatever. I don't care. I'm going to pose. Look at my muscles. And they are nice. She's got nice muscles. I noticed, too, Jade maybe needs to work on her ring gear. It's cool ring gear. It's really shiny and metallic looking. Those boots are amazing. I thought the gear looked great. But, did you notice when she did what do you call it? The Scott Hall Slam. The
Fall-away slam.
Fall-away slam. Thank you. I dated myself there calling it the Scott Hall Slam, right? That's what Razor used to do back in the day.
Yeah, a lot of people know it like that, though.
So she does a Scott Hall Slam, but, I think she thought her breast fell out because she she does a slam and then you see her adjust herself on the ground. So maybe the gear isn't quite as snug as she needed it to be, but it was her first time out, But she looks like goddamn $1 million, and she wrestled $100. She looked all right. She wasn't terrible. Is she the greatest wrestler I've ever seen? No, but it was her first match ever, so she's got time. Shaq attacking the Gunn brothers. Austin Gunn hitting Shaq with a chair at ringside. Now, the Gunn family, they're part of the Nightmare family. Why were the Gunns getting involved? You watch Dark.
Well, they got involved. It's pretty much what you said. They're part of Cody's Nightmare family, so they're just backing up Cody, which is kind of ridiculous because isn't Cody supposed to be the face? I'm not sure. It seemed like Shaq was somewhat the face because he was getting the crowd into it. That's what was kind of off about that match. Was who's the face in this? It feels like Shaq's more a face, Jade's a heel, and it's vice versa with Cody and Velvet.
Yeah, it wasn't clear. I mean, I think Shaq and Jade were supposed to be the heels, but yeah, the crowd did seem to like Shaq because he was doing well. He had a nice chop. He hit the powerbomb with the kiss, the Brody Lee tribute. Like, why would a heel do a tribute to Brody Lee?
That was great, but Cody got up way too quick, though. I didn't like that part.
From the powerbomb. Yeah, he didn't sell it at all. You're taking a powerbomb from a 7+ footer. He powerbombs you straight down. It's a killer powerbomb, and Cody just pops up, thumb to the eye, and a body slam, kind of, right? Kind of a body slam. He kind of like scooped him up and dropped him. Not a great body slam, but Cody picked him up, kind of. But yeah, why didn't he sell the powerbomb? That was the biggest move that Shaq hit all match, and Cody didn't sell it at all. Weird.
I think time constraints on that one. I think they were just rushing, and that's it. They just wanted to get to the next spot, kind of thing. You have to realize too, that match didn't have a commercial break, so they probably had to get that match done quick.
And of course, they wasted so much time watching Red Velvet set up that table. Good God, she looked too small to handle a table. If you're that small, just forget about the table. Don't be the one to set up the table. Jade Cargill sets up a table for no apparent reason. And then Red Velvet's like, yeah, good idea. Let me set up a second table. And you're like, what are they doing here? And then nothing happened until Shaq went through the table at the end of the match. Like, Red Velvet took as long to set up that table as Paul Heyman did to uncuff Roman Reigns. Like, that was painful to watch.
It wasn't that long. It definitely wasn't that long.
All right. But it took a while, right? Like, how long does it take to set up a table?
She's small.
Yeah, I know. Well,
she's small. She's inexperienced.
Well,
it was understandable.
I didn't understand it. It's not. I mean, come on. You can't practice setting up a table before the show so you know how to do it. She looked like once the legs were up, she didn't know how to lift the thing up and put it on its legs. She couldn't get the table back up. She's like struggling with it. You're supposed to be a professional wrestler. You can't lift a table. You're supposed to be able to beat up Jade Cargill, who's jacked to all hell. You can't lift a table, Little Red? She's the not-so-amazing Red. Not that amazing.
I thought she was fine tonight, though.
Ah, come on. She was okay. What did she do? What was great about Red Velvet?
She did a couple good kicks to the face, actually.
Yeah, that one kick.
She did like
one kick, yeah.
It's a couple good strikes too. Good intensity. Like, she didn't have to do a lot of great things. Just make your stuff simple, short, easy. Like, that's all they had to do because like a lot of the attention's on Shaq anyways. So all they have to do is just make their stuff look solid. And I thought for the most part they did.
When you're doing a dive and 2 out of the 3 people you hit with your dive are on your team, should you be doing the dive, Red Velvet? She did a dive off the top rope. She hit Jade Cargill, but she also hit Cody and QT Marshall. Like, 2 out of the 3 people she's diving on are part of her team. What was going on there? Why do that? Like, you know, everybody's so excited about this match, and yeah, Shaq took a big bump through a table, and Jade Cargill and Red Velvet didn't trip all over each other having a terrible match. But there were elements of this thing that were pretty shitty. I'm sorry. There were some elements there where I was like, come on. Why are you diving on Cody and QT, Red? Only Jade is there for you to hit. Why take out your own tag team partner on a dive? Why?
Well, again, it comes down to experience. I mean, it wasn't a dive. It was a moonsault off the top.
Whatever.
And they were probably just worried because, like, she hasn't done that many times, I'm sure. So they're just there to protect her. And Cody, with the experience, he's there to, you know, make sure things go right.
Then don't do it. If you're inexperienced and the only way you can do something is shittily, don't fucking do it. Don't do the moonsault then, Red Velvet. No, it wasn't. Not if it hits Cody and QT at the same time. If you're hitting 3 people and 2 of them are on your team, that's a shitty wrestling move you just hit. It's shitty. If Shaq was there and Cody and Jade, okay, maybe, because you're taking Shaq and Jade out. But in this instance, you're taking Jade and Cody out. So all Shaq has to do is tag himself in, take Cody, and win. It's a dumb thing to do. You would never, ever attack your own partner in any other situation. In fact, in any other situation in professional wrestling, if you hit your tag team partner, they usually get pissed off. But for some reason, in all of pro wrestling now, when you dive on your tag team partner, they're good with it. They're like, oh yeah, you were doing a dive. It's cool. Don't punch me, but you can fling your body off the top rope onto me all day, because that's fine. And I won't sell it, but our fucking opponent will, because it's all fake. That's right, Randy Orton. Soulja Boy was right. It is all fake. When you're doing fake shit like this, fake-ass wrestling. Don't no-sell a dive. He barely sold. Come on, bro. Sure, Cody sold because Cody knows what he's doing, but how many times in pro wrestling do you see people dive and the only people that sell are the opponents and the partners no-sell, right? Like, okay, Cody sold tonight, but how often? How often do you see people no-selling that move? No-selling that situation? Too goddamn often. And JR said it a few weeks ago and took a bunch of heat, right? JR was like, why are you guys just all standing around waiting for somebody to dive? It looks stupid. And I'm like, yeah, Jim, you're right. But hey, that's just me. I texted you earlier today. I was like, I heard Jim Cornette reviewed AEW Dynamite last week, and his match of the week was the same as mine. Am I becoming an old crotchety wrestling man? And you just texted back, yes. Yes, you are. So maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just becoming old and crotchety, and this new shit that they're doing doesn't make sense to me. But come on. How you going to dive on your tag team partner, and your tag team partner doesn't sell, but your opponent does? You're both getting hit with the same move. Why would it hurt one person and not the other? It's goddamn stupid. Anyways, Shaq hits a beautiful powerbomb on Cody. Looks like death. Cody doesn't sell it. Cody does this crazy dive over the top. Like, a lot of people are giving Shaq the credit for the bump, and yeah, that bump was nuts. He's on the apron. Cody flies off the ropes, jumps over the top rope, cross-body Shaq off the apron, down through 2 tables, which allowed Jade Cargill to take control of Red Velvet. Like, Cody does this big move on Shaq. Again, like, the lack of logic here. Cody takes Shaq out, which allows Jade Cargill to take out Red Velvet. It's like, well, who's working with who here? Also, when Shaq takes the bump, like, the camera stayed on them for too long. Too long. Because you could see Cody asking Shaq if he was okay, and you could see Shaq tapping Cody on the back like, yeah, I'm good. And then a few seconds later, Shaq was completely unconscious. Pardon me? Like, cool bump, but goddamn, you could see them asking each other if they were okay. It kills your suspension of disbelief. Like, I can't allow that shit. I can't watch that shit and be like, oh yeah, it's fine. Because it takes you out of it. Amazing bump. And then you check on Shaq, and Shaq's like, you could see Cody talking to him. Why did the camera stay on them for so long? Come on, guys. It's not that hard. It's pro wrestling. It's not rocket science. It's pro wrestling. Am I wrong?
Well, that's just on the editor. That's just on the editor. They have to cut away quicker. Like, because I guess you missed, like, in the ring, like, Red Velvet got a near fall on Jade. So, like, that was the reason why Cody went out there. Red Velvet almost won the match. It's just she didn't win the match, and then Jay was able to turn it around.
Right. They missed the spear because they were showing Cody checking on Shaq if he's okay. Meanwhile, Red Velvet hits a spear on Jade for a near fall that they totally missed.
So that's on the editor, really. They planned it right, but the editor missed it. Director, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. The camera work wasn't great on that. The bump looked great. Nice stuff, but goddamn. Like, when you're supposed to be wrestling each other, I don't want to see you guys asking if you're okay. It's too obvious. It takes you out of it. Like, I get that you have to ask Cody because he's a big celebrity and he just did this big thing for you, but couldn't you ask him later? Whatever happened to, like, just the referee grabbing the guy's hand and him squeezing it? Did Cody right away have to be like, are you okay, Shaq? Shaq, like, tapping him on the back. Yeah, I'm okay, Cody. It's okay. A little icy hot, I'll be fine. Come on now. Come on now. Don't do that to me. I'm watching. There's a camera on you. The whole world can see that you're working together. And I know that we all know it's a work, but goddamn, aren't you supposed to pretend that it's not on your show? You're doing wrestling matches. Shouldn't you pretend that you have real heat? Shaq, are you okay? Oh, I'm so sorry, Shaq. Thank you for doing that, Shaq. Are you okay? Come on, man. Shaq looked dead ringside. Dead. Unconscious, like eyes closed. Like, I'm dead now, guys. It's over for me. After that lady shit-talked me about basketball and Cody put me through a table, I got nothing left for this world. It's over. Do you see that going around Twitter today? Some, like, WNBA player told Shaq about basketball and, like, apparently schooled him to, like, the techniques and strategies of the game. And I'm like, I don't understand what the hell these people are talking about. Pick and roll? I don't know. I mean, a shoulder roll, I understand. Stop, drop, and roll. Roll a joint. I mean, pick and roll. I don't know. I'm not a basketball guy, but apparently that lady just completely obliterated Shaq on that NBA show that he's on. So Shaq took 2 L's today. Although I guess he did come out on the winning end tonight. Shaq and Jade did get the win. Jade winning for Shaq, though.
Sadly, Shaq disappearing. That was the biggest mystery, to my opinion. Like, what happened to Shaq afterwards? Because he just disappeared.
Yeah, no medical update on Shaq. What the hell happened there? They put him in an ambulance. Tony Schiavone went to check on him, but he wasn't there. And then there was no update. Where's Shaq? That's true, John. I forgot about that. He disappeared. They disappeared Shaq. What the hell could this be? Does this tie in with the Hall of Fame talent? Like, is it The Undertaker? Has Taker signed to AEW? Mark Calloway is all elite. That's right. I'm here to take your souls. Like, could you imagine? Not happening. But fuck, who knows, man? The world is crazy these days. I wouldn't put anything past anybody. But Shaq did disappear. What's your best guess on what the hell they're doing with Shaq? I think he's going to wrestle again, right? Because he looked good tonight. He seemed like he liked it. And he's in an angle of sorts. So I guess they'll do more with Shaquille O'Neal in the future.
Well, let's remember, I think it was Karl Malone. I think he wrestled twice. Did he not? Or no, Dennis Rodman wrestled twice. Karl Malone wrestled once, but
yeah,
Rodman wrestled like a bunch of times. So
yeah,
why can't Shaq wrestle more than once?
Is it Hogan?
Is Hogan the guy coming in? I highly doubt it. Like, he can't do anything.
Yeah, so what? They have Sting and Tully Blanchard and J.J. Dillon on their shows. Like, who cares? Might as well bring
wrestled.
Tully wrestled. I could be Terry, man. It could be Big Terry. I wouldn't put it past Hulk Hogan. I mean, Eric Bischoff was on the show tonight, so where Bischoff is, Hogan is nearby, right? Pac and Ray Phoenix beat 2 jobbers in a squash match. That was like nothing. That was fine. That was quick and easy. Any comments on that? Like,
showcase.
Yeah, it was what it was. I have nothing really to say about that. Where's Pentagon?
I think it was just to kind of push them as a team because, like, Pentagon's going to be in the ladder match, and they're going to be probably in that casino tag team battle royal.
Is Pentagon going to be in the ladder match, though? Because he hasn't been on AEW TV for months, and he wasn't there tonight.
He is advertised, so as of right now, that's the way they're going with it. I mean, they could change it on Sunday, but as of right now, he's there.
Cero miedo. Lucha Bros, Mexi Kings, Cero miedo, meet us in the ring. I love Pentagon. I can't wait to see him back. That guy's the best. Anyways.
Hopefully he's there.
Yeah. So Chris Jericho and MJF have a press conference. Jericho talks about being the tag team champions in the past with great legends like Dwayne Johnson and Paul White. Dwayne Johnson's The Rock, by the way. And now MJF is going to be his new tag team partner. Some guy from Barstool Sports, some nerd, asked a question. I don't know who he was. And Jericho cut a promo after that. And then Conrad Thompson, one of the favorite podcasters of the wrestling world, he was there asking if Sammy Guevara will ever be allowed in the inner circle. MJF was like, "Get out of here, turkey tits! Turkey tits!" Well, that was pretty good. I like seeing Conrad Thompson on a pro wrestling show. Like, the guy is so big in the wrestling world, but, you know, no wrestling show has really acknowledged him or put him on TV. And there's Conrad. And he's like, it's Conrad from Grillin' JR. And I'm like, dude, you have a podcast with everybody. He's got a podcast with Kurt Angle, Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, Eric Bischoff, Bruce Pritchard. I have no idea how this guy finds the time because his podcasts are like long and he has like several of them out every week. I don't know what he's doing. He's also married to one of Ric Flair's daughters. So that's where he, that's where he gets the connections from. Anyways, he's a good podcaster. I like him.
I would wonder, though, like, is he going to get heat for this? Because usually WWE doesn't like it when you're on the AEW program and they kind of blackball you afterwards. So is this going to cause problems for his podcast with Pritchard now?
No, I don't think so. I mean, he does a podcast with Pritchard, but he also does a podcast with JR, right? So I doubt it. I mean, him and Pritchard's podcast was on, they were on the network, right? They had a few episodes on the WWE network.
Yeah, that's not going to happen now, I don't think.
No, not anymore. I would be less worried for Conrad because he's got the connections in the wrestling world, and more worried for that other Barstool Sports guy. Do you see that taller guy? He was on a WWE pay-per-view. Like, wasn't he on the Elimination Chamber pre-show? Wasn't he one of the guys with a microphone?
I thought he was on NXT, actually, but maybe he was on Elimination Chamber.
Don't remember
exactly.
Maybe that's where I saw him, on the NXT pre-show thing, the last
that's
takeover. Yeah. Anyways, that guy's going to be blackballed from WWE because he was on WWE TV like 2 weeks ago, and then he asked another question, and then whatever. I don't know his name. I know Conrad. I don't know this guy. MJF talked about Papa Buck getting his blood on his custom suit, talked about beating the Bucks on Sunday. Santana asked the Bucks if they thought it was a good idea to bring their bitch-ass dad there, which got a pretty big pop for the crowd. Crowd was like, "Oh, you called the Bucks dad a bitch-ass?" That was great stuff. Santana was just there in the background just to call the Papa Buck a bitch-ass. Eric Bischoff was there as a member of the press, I guess, during this press conference, asking Jericho if he thought that attacking the Young Bucks' father last week and motivating the Bucks for their match, where that ranks on his list of stupid ideas. Jericho did not take kindly to that. Jericho seemed pretty upset. The Young Bucks showed up, talked about how much they love their dad, and that they're mad that the Inner Circle attacked him, and they say that, MJF and Jericho's dad probably didn't raise them as well as Papa Buck did, and without him, there'd be no AEW. And Matt says without AEW, MJF would be unemployed and Jericho would be jerking the curtain at the Performance Center. Little jab there, Jericho. And then the Bucks and Inner Circle start brawling. Brandon Cutler comes out to help his friends, the Bucks. Refs swarm the ring. Jericho and MJF, they bail out of the ring. The Bucks just keep on beating up Santana and Ortiz for some reason. The Good Brothers show up. They bring out tables and help the Bucks do dives on Santana and Ortiz through tables. So we've seen like 45 minutes of wrestling. 3 people have gone through tables. A lot of table spots tonight, right? A little overkill on the table
it's like
skis.
A pay-per-view.
Did you need the table spot here with Santana and Ortiz? And why are the Good Brothers out helping the Bucks here? What was that? Are they going to cost them the match, trying to help them again on Sunday, or what?
Well, I think you complained last week about how there's not enough heat for this match, so I think this was a way to get a lot of heat for the match was to get some tables involved, and that was probably their biggest spot, right? Is doing that whole jump off the top of the entranceway. That's the Bucks' big thing. So they're probably not going to do that on the pay-per-view. It's going to be a regular match, so do it here.
The Heat was beating up Papa Buck. I don't think you get heat by beating up Santana and Ortiz. They're not in this match. And again, like,
well,
the Heat, the baby faces, yeah, but the baby faces are getting help from another team that are kind of heels. Like, it doesn't make the Bucks look like baby faces in this instance. They're getting help from their heel buddies to beat up the heels. And like, it's 4-on-2. How does that give sympathy to the Bucks when they're ending? This is the go-home show into their tag team match, and the last thing you see is a 4-on-2 beating from the Bucks and Good Brothers on Santana and Ortiz, while Jericho and MJF just watch powerlessly. I don't think that's good for your baby faces to be healing out like this with the Good Brothers doing a 4-on-2 attack. It's not good booking.
Didn't really see it like that. I mean, it was 4-on-2 against the Bucks at first. They had to overcome the odds, and then the Good Brothers came in after the Bucks did all the work, pretty much, and just helped set up the tables. If anything, they actually hurt the Bucks more by making sure they got hurt by going through tables as well.
Nah, I'm not buying that logic. Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Atsushi Onita. I had to go on Twitter to find out who Onita was. I don't know Onita. Do you recognize Onita when they show him? Did they even say his name on the show?
I think they did say his name, yeah.
Did they have a thing that said Onita at the bottom of the screen? I didn't see that.
I don't know. I know Excalibur said it, so I don't know if they put the subtitle.
Of course Excalibur says it. He's the only guy on commentary who knows who the fuck that guy is. I'm like, who's this old Japanese guy? Oh, he's probably a deathmatch guy. Onita. We should watch some of this shit that we haven't seen before, John. You know? There's all this wrestling that we haven't seen before, you know? We've seen, like, too much wrestling already, but I'm sure there's shit that we haven't seen. You ever seen Starrcade 86?
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it.
Should we do a watch-along of it and just shit on it and piss off old people?
I'll probably like it, actually, so, I mean, I don't mind.
I think we should do that.
Watching old wrestling.
That's kind of an idea that I had. Like, I say we watch wrestling that we haven't seen before. I don't want to watch, like, WrestleMania 10 or Survivor Series 97. Like, I've seen that shit. I was there, you know? I want to see some shit that happened when I was, like, a baby, or some of these Onita death matches and see if they're really that great, you know? Like, let's go back in time and see some shit, John. We're going to do some watch-alongs for some wrestling that Johnny and I haven't seen. We're going to find, like, some pay-per-views that we've never seen that are kind of famous, like Starrcade 86. I've never seen Starrcade 86. I tell you, one time I watched Ric Flair win his first NWA title from Harley Race, and that shit was fucking boring. So, we'll see.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, so was the first Ric Flair, Ricky Dragon Steamboat match. I mean, it's okay, but I mean, it's 60 minutes, and like a lot of it is just headlock takedown for like 20 minutes. So, I mean, it's okay, but it's not great.
I'm telling you, man, there's people there that think, oh, wrestling used to be so much better back in those days. Let's do a watch-along of some of that shit, and we'll see. Speaking of back in those days, FTR and Tully Blanchard accompanied to the ring by J.J. Dillon. And did you notice? Cool. Yeah, they were all wearing old belts, too. FTR had tag team belts. What were those belts? Tully had like an U.S. title?
They said them before. I think it's when the Horsemen, there was other championships that they had in NWA at the time, and the Horsemen won them. They mentioned the story behind those titles.
Well, apparently all those belts were Conrad's that he lent out. Apparently Conrad is like a one of the foremost belt collectors in the world. He's got a lot of the originals, a lot of stuff from his father-in-law, the old Nature Boy Ric Flair. And I think Conrad lent those belts to AEW tonight. So.
Oh, that's nice of him.
Hey, he's a good guy. Guy loves pro wrestling. Got to respect him. I mean, you don't have to. You can respect whoever the fuck you want. I don't care. Tully Blanchard and FTR beat Jurassic Express after a cameraman attacked Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. It was revealed to be Sean Spears as the masked cameraman. This match was weird. Tully was involved quite a bit, did some wrestling, beat up Marco Stunt. Marco Stunt looked like shit in this match, by the way. Like, he got nothing. He's getting beat up by a 67-year-old man. I get Marco Stunt's small and all, but goddamn, he's supposed to be a wrestler in this company. Like, they started the match, Tully and Marco Stunt, and then Tully just beat up Marco. It's like punching him in the gut. Like, Marco got zero offense. And I understand this is to put Jungle Boy over, and, you know, you do that, but I don't know, man. Why have Marco Stunt around if he's just like a piece of shit? I think the guy's kind of fun to watch. Like, I know a lot of people hate him, and he looks tiny and whatever, but he can move, you know? He's an athletic kid, and I think there's something there with him. I really, I'm not a Marco Stunt hater. I think he's all right. But I don't think that you do him any favors by getting beat up by a 67-year-old man.
Well, I think they wanted to kind of show that Tully could still do things, you know, like they can't just have him get beat up by Marco. It's like, well, Tully should never wrestle again kind of thing. They gave Tully the win in this match. So yeah, to me, it's like, well, Tully actually probably is going to wrestle again. So I think they wanted to make him look strong in like his first match in like over 30 years, they said on television.
Mm-hmm. But you know Marco's going to wrestle again, and he looked terrible, right? Anyways, Tully did get the win. He took a couple bumps too, Tully, which was impressive for a 67-year-old guy. Like, Tully didn't look old in the match. He didn't look like great, but he didn't look like he couldn't do it again. You know, he looked like an older athletic guy, but not 67. You know, he looked solid. And to take a bump and then get back up, it was like, oh, okay. Tully's going for it. Tully had something there. Seeing J.J. Dillon was really cool. And then after the match, after Sean Spears kind of reveals himself as like part of the team, he helped them win, Arn Anderson comes out to the stage just for a moment, gives the old Four Horsemen hand signal. JJ kind of gives it back to him. Tully kind of gives it back to him too. And then Arn just walks away, which was odd. Like, I understand they used to be in the Four Horsemen together, but that was a very brief moment. And then Tony Schiavone comes out on the stage while the FTR guys are leaving, and Schiavone's there, and then J.J. Dillon says something like, "You're not going to see anything better than that." And Schiavone's like, yeah, you're not getting paid anymore for that line. Get the hell out of here, JJ. And JJ kind of gave him a look. That was a shoot there. That was a shoot moment, right? That was one of my favorite moments of the whole show, to be really real. Tony telling JJ, oh, you're not getting paid extra for that. And JJ shooting him that look. That was good shit. But Tony wasn't there for them. He was there to interview Paul White. What the hell was that at the end of the match? Like, that was rushed. That was big time rushed. Arn comes out for a split second, flashes the 4, disappears. As Sean Spears is getting in the ring, you can see Schiavone like wandering around on the stage. I don't know if you noticed that, but Schiavone like went through the tunnel and then came back out. Like, while the FTR is celebrating, you see Schiavone like confused walking around behind them. And Arn Anderson shows up. It's like, what's Arn doing here? So Arn was there, Tully was there, JJ was there. Where's Ole Anderson? Where's Barry Windham? Are they going to get Barry Windham? Where's the Nature Boy Ric Flair? Look, if Charlotte doesn't want Ric Flair around, maybe AEW could use him. Because I tell you, he was missing tonight. He was definitely a guy that would have fit in with Tully and Arn and J.J. Dillon. Hey, Barry Windham's only 60. That's young by wrestling standard. Barry Windham is younger than Sting and Tully. Bring back Barry.
Well, I don't know about Ric Flair because apparently Ric Flair doesn't talk to Arn Anderson or Tully anymore, so I don't think that's ever going to happen, unfortunately. But you have the rest
Uh,
of the Four Horsemen at least.
why not bring back Barry Windham? Just have everybody but Flair. Ole Anderson, Barry Windham, get Lex Luger in there. They've already got Dean Malenko. Like, just bring in every person that was a Four Horseman ever in the history of the group, except Ric Flair.
Well, I think Barry might be possible. Who knows what can happen with that? Ole apparently is like just angry at the world, apparently, from what
Yeah.
most people say. So I don't know if Ole's going to happen. But if you have JJ, you have Tully, you have Arn. I mean, if you just have Barry, Luger, unfortunately, is in a wheelchair these days, so I don't think that's really going to work out. But I mean, you'd have enough there. I mean, Sid would be great. I don't think they'll get Sid though, unfortunately.
Sid would be crazy. Sid's still wrestling.
But him and Arn, yeah, but him and Arn, like that's not going to work out.
Come on, bygones, baby. Everybody stabs each
Yeah,
other every now and then. A little stabbing never hurt nobody. Come on, baby. What's the problem? I think Sid and Arn
I
are
don't know.
cool now.
Someone stabs you, you ever forgive them for that? I don't know about that.
No, I don't think so.
Exactly.
I mean, it depends who it is, I guess. Depends on the culture.
Oh, I
you
don't
know?
know about that.
Tony Schiavone interviewed Paul White on the stage. He's wearing a No More BS t-shirt. Get it? No more BS. No more Big Show because he's Paul White. It kind of reminded me of the Get the F Out t-shirts when WWE went from WWF to WWE. So they put out the Get the F Out t-shirts. Isn't this the new version of that? No more BS? Anyways. Show said, "Oh, who saw this turn coming?" And he says he's happy to be in AEW and happy to be back on TNT. Show says this Sunday AEW will add a Hall of Fame level talent, and he knows who it is. So when you find out, just know that he knew first. But he's not going to say who it is. It was really weird. And then later on, they said, and then that was Show's promo. That was it. And I'm still calling him Big Show because, like, I don't know. I'm used to it. So
Tony called him G.
yeah, G, the Giant. I still don't like the name Paul White. I think Giant Paul White or Paul White the Giant or something like that. Paul the Giant. Something like that. I don't like just Paul White. He just seems like a guy. He just seems like another old wrestler man. Especially when he shows up with his t-shirt tucked into his jeans. Why are you tucking in your t-shirt, bro? What's that about?
Proper.
Who tucks in the t-shirt into jeans? Who's dressing this man? I get that you're 50 and a giant, but like, do you have to tuck in a t-shirt into jeans? You look old. Only old dudes do that. Nobody under 60 tucks a t-shirt into their jeans. Who's tucking a t-shirt? What the hell was he doing tonight? He looked ridiculous. Like, I'm sorry. For Big Show's first appearance at AEW, he looked like shit. He was like taller than Tony. He looked kind of fat in that t-shirt. His legs looked all skinny in those jeans. He looked awful. And the promo was not good. Like, don't tuck in your fucking t-shirt into your jeans. Who's your stylist? Eddie Kingston? What's happening, bro? You look ridiculous, Big Show. Absolutely ridiculous. T-shirt tucked. Get the fuck out of here. So who is it? Who?
Who was the surprise?
Yeah, man. Who is the surprise? Everybody is throwing names out there. You know? Hogan, Flair, CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, Kevin Nash, John Cena, The Rock. I mean, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like, who knows? Ryback. Who's your best guess, and who would you be happy with?
Well, first we need to clarify something. Did Big Show say it's a Hall of Famer or Hall of Fame worthy?
Hall of
I
Fame
feel like
worthy.
Yeah. So if he said that really keeps it wide open. I don't think it's going to be like a guy like Hogan because that's already like a Hall of Famer kind of thing, you know? So, like, I could see a guy like Ryback instead.
If you bring in Ryback and you advertised him as Hall of Fame worthy, come on, bro. Ryback? I mean, no disrespect, but disrespect. Let's be real here.
Yeah,
come on. Ryback?
It's Big Show that said it.
Yeah, but
Big Show's credentials.
Yeah, so you bring in Big Show as a fucking idiot right off the bat. Not only does he tuck in his fucking T-shirts into jeans, but he also thinks Ryback is Hall of Fame level. Pardon me? That's ludicrous. Like, you can't say, oh, Hall of Fame level talent, here's Ryback. And especially when you can't even call him Ryback. Or did he change his name to Ryback?
He changed his name to Ryback, yeah.
Oh, what a fucking doofus this guy is. Holy shit. He changed his name to Ryback. That's good. Ryback's not good enough, all right, bro? I'm not accepting Ryback. Give me CM Punk. Give me John Cena. Give me Cena. Like, that's best case scenario for me. What would make me lose my mind and pop like crazy? John Cena. John Cena, John Cena, John Cena. He's a free agent. He's the biggest free agent out there. And you can say, oh, what about CM Punk? Fuck out of here with that shit. John Cena is a million times bigger than CM Punk. Don't believe me? Go to Hollywood and ask around. How's CM Punk's movie career doing? I'll wait. How's John Cena's career doing? Pretty damn good, right? Pretty damn good. Don't come in here and tell me, oh, CM Punk's a bigger star than John Cena. Bullshit. There is nothing bigger that AEW could do than John Cena. John Cena is the biggest acquisition that they could possibly make. Nothing bigger. And I'm seeing people. Angelo says, it's not happening, Dave. Cena's loyal to WWE. He's not going. That's what people said about Big Show. People are like, Sting? Why would AEW sign Sting? He's not wrestling anymore. He's retired. He's wrestling on Sunday. Took a powerbomb 2 weeks ago. Was in the ring tonight. Did all sorts of shit. He fought off Hook. I mean, goddamn, if you could fight off Hook, you could fight off anybody. Hook Taz. Mini Taz, whatever his name is. Hook Taz? I think Taz is his last name. Okay. John Cena. And people are saying, oh, he's too loyal. It's not going to happen. That's what they said about Hulk. A lot of guys, you're only as loyal as the WWE is to you. If AEW makes an offer, you're listening. There is nobody off the market. Nobody. I've been watching wrestling for too long to think that, oh, well, this can't happen. Anything can happen in wrestling. Anything. People move all the time. Kurt Angle left the WWE. He had all sorts of drug problems. He had to leave. He was going to retire. He fucking shows up in TNA. People are fucking minds blown. Minds blown. John, do you remember when fucking Kurt Angle showed up in TNA? Sorry, do you remember when John Moxley showed up in AEW? A guy who was a top-level star in WWE. World champion. It's Roman, Seth, Ambrose. It's their company. He walked. You're telling me somebody else couldn't walk? You're telling me somebody who might be older in their wrestling career and maybe wants a bigger role in a company, wants to be respected. I don't think John Cena wants a bigger role in a wrestling company, but there are guys out there. What's Taker doing with the rest of his life? If Taker's told, we want you to come in and you're going to be our Michael Hayes. You're going to be in charge of all of it. Like, you know, Vince has his lieutenants. You know what I mean? Taker, you're going to come in as a fucking top lieutenant in AEW. You're head of this, you're head of that. You're a box office guy. We're going to have you once in a while show up and do a match, but mostly you're backstage and you have a backstage role, and you're now a powerful figure in the world of professional wrestling. If the WWE doesn't offer that to guys, they might go somewhere else looking for it. That's what Big Show did. Big Show had his Netflix show canceled. Did WWE come running with an offer for a job? No, they did not. So he walked because he was a free agent and he's a grown man who could go wherever the fuck the money is. And the money's in AEW. So he went. Jericho went. Moxley went. All these people saying, well, this is impossible and that's impossible. And if I would have told you fucking 5 years ago that the WWE would have competition and that there'd be some fucking son of a billionaire running a wrestling show that had weekly TV, that was the best weekly show out there, and they had Jericho and Big Show and Sting and all sorts of other guys like Kenny Omega, you'd be like, what? Impossible. Here we are, 2021, and AEW is a thing. Nothing is impossible in professional wrestling. Nothing. Is John Cena coming to AEW? Probably not. But could he come to AEW? Fuck yeah. Could CM Punk show up on Sunday? Fuck yeah. Could Daniel Bryan show up on Sunday? Yes. Yes, he could. What's his contract right now? I don't know. But I know that it's up at some point this year. I just saw Cesaro say, I'm not going to tell anybody about my contract. I'm going to keep that under wraps. I don't want to talk about my contract. Why is he saying that? Is Cesaro going to show up on fucking Sunday at 8? Don't tell me Cesaro's not Hall of Fame level talent. Claudio Castagnoli? There are guys out there. Is it going to be an old guy that they're bringing back? Like a Hogan or a Barry Windham or some shit like that? Or is it going to be some guy that's been there, done that, but could still go, like a CM Punk, like a John Cena? Or is it going to be somebody still in their prime that could give you another 10, 15 years? Those guys are harder to come by. There are fewer of those guys out there, right? The top level.
There definitely are.
Right? The top level, kind of main event level guys that could still go. Who's out there? Not many.
No, but they got people interested. That's it. I mean, regardless if you agree or disagree with whoever they bring in, it's got people talking, because if they can bring in someone like Paul White, Big Show, then you think they could bring in pretty much almost anyone now. So I get it. Like, again, I'm not expecting, John Cena, CM Punk, Hogan, Flair. I'm not expecting anything like that, but it got people talking, and I think that's the main point.
Give me a name. What do you think?
Oh, a name. I think it's going to be something like a Mark Henry, Ryback. It's going to be something like that, in my opinion. It's going to be like, who the guy is, but it's not going to be like, earth-shattering.
Mark Henry or Ryback wouldn't really do anything for me. I got to tell
Mark
you.
Henry is Hall of Fame, though.
Have you seen him lately?
I think he's still good. I think he is still probably going to wrestle again.
Bro, have you seen him lately? He looks like half of Mark Henry. Looks tiny.
Yeah, I still think he's going to wrestle again, though.
I don't think so. I don't want to see that. Didn't we see it? Last time we saw him, wasn't he in like he was on Raw a few months ago, and he was in like a thing. Didn't he have like a scooter he had to walk around in?
Yeah, he had a bit of an injury.
I can't even walk. No Mark Henry. Come on, man. Come on, man. Ryo Mizunami beat Nyla Rose after like 3 top rope leg drops. She finished her with a top rope leg drop. I feel like she hit 3 of them in the match. That was okay.
Well, this match just made sense towards how they booked this whole thing, because it's like, if you're going to have someone come over from Japan, do the whole 2-week quarantine, they weren't just going to lose right away. I mean, it made sense for them if they're going to go all the way with this and give them the pay-per-view match as well.
Yeah, I just, why did she hit so many leg drops if that's going to be the finish?
The limited moveset. I mean, also, too, if you watched earlier on, like, she had won her matches by doing the leg drop, but it took so many leg drops to beat Rose, so.
Yeah. I wasn't thrilled with that match. What the hell was she doing with the pull in the rope? Like, did you notice that at one point Mizunami was like pulling on a imaginary rope? What the hell was that?
Well, again, if you'd watched the earlier tournament matches, like she did a lot of that stuff. So, I mean, this was this was toned down compared to what she was doing in Japan. So,
goofy.
I kind of understood. Yeah, the goofy stuff is what they do. But hey, this is what Kenny Omega books. Like, this is what you wanted, right? Like, you wanted Kenny to book this stuff, so he's doing it.
I wanted Kenny to book this stuff?
Well, you believed in Kenny. You're like, Kenny's good at everything, right?
He's good at wrestling. In the ring, wrestling. Booking, promos, I don't know. Ugh. Yeah, Mizunami against Hikaru Shida at the pay-per-view. Shida came out, shook hands with Mizunami, and then they punched each other for a while. A couple stiff shots in there. I give less of a shit for this match. It's the singles match for the AEW Women's World Championship. Mizunami wins the tournament to get the title shot. She takes on Shida at the pay-per-view. I don't care about this match at all. I think Shida's going to win. I don't see Mizunami as the champion.
I agree with you. It's just to give us a fresh match because they've done Rose and Shida like how many pay-per-views already? I feel at least 2, right? So this was just to give us a new match we haven't seen before. But yeah, I think Shida's still going to win.
That's it. I don't know. I don't care about this at all. They didn't do a good job making me care about Ryo Mizunami through this tournament. Like, you do a tournament, it's supposed to get somebody over. I don't think Ryo Mizunami's over. I don't care about her. The first time I saw her was tonight. Like, if you know she's going to win the tournament, couldn't you? I guess all the Japanese women, they were wrestling on YouTube, but god damn, man. This woman wins the tournament. We only see her once. If you watch Dynamite, which most AEW fans are just watching Dynamite, you see her once. She doesn't really get over in this match. And now you're supposed to buy a pay-per-view with her on it, wrestling for the title? Not a great job of getting her over.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that, but this match isn't exactly like a main event match. It's just another match on the pay-per-view, pretty much. It just happens to be there. You're not really buying the pay-per-view for this match. I think the other
Angelo says Angelo says she was on the debut episode of Dynamite. Is that true?
Yeah, I think she was in like a 6-woman tag or something.
Whatever. I don't remember her. Yeah, the other women's match seems more interesting, and it's on the buy-in, right? There's 2 women's matches on this card. It's the Shida versus Mizunami thing, and then you have Riho and Thunder Rosa teaming up to take on Britt Baker and Rebel in a tag team match. That could be fun.
Well, they put the note that Rebel might not wrestle because apparently she's not 100%, so they might have a replacement instead.
Okay. Do you care about who her replacement is? Who could it be?
I don't know. I mean, it really could be anybody really. Penelope Ford, whatever, just throw someone in there. I don't think it's going to matter. I think Thunder Rosa and Riho are still going to win anyways.
Yeah. Could be a good match, though. I like that. That happening this Sunday at AEW Revolution. We'll be here right after Revolution to recap everything that happened. Don't forget, we have a big weekend coming up here on the Ringside Report Network. We're going to do a watch-along for UFC 259 Saturday night, 10 p.m., and then on Sunday night, right after AEW Revolution, we'll be back here to break it all down. Sting cuts a promo in the ring. Sting talked about the powerbomb he took 2 weeks ago, shaking off the ring rust. Said the powerbomb was a good thing. Got me ready to go. Ricky Starks shows up, starts talking about Sting, and says, Sting, you're no icon, and he slaps Sting right in the face. Sting attacks Ricky Starks. Ricky's shoes fly off. His shirt comes off. Sting hits a Stinger Splash followed by the Scorpion Deathlock. Applies the Sharpshooter, Scorpion Deathlock, whatever you want to call it, on Ricky. And then Will Hobbs and Hook hit the ring. Well, they come to the ringside area. Will Hobbs, gigantic-ass Will Hobbs, stays outside the ring and tries to pull Ricky Starks away from Sting. Hook, little ass, looks like a kid, has never wrestled a match ever. Hook, he jumps in the ring and tries to put a chokehold on Sting, and he immediately gets, shaken off. If I'm Ricky Starks, I go backstage and I'm like, hey, Will Hobbs, real cool that Hook tried to help me, but maybe your big ass could get in the ring and attack Sting too? If you have one of your teammates being attacked by Sting, or if you're getting attacked by Sting, who do you want to come and save you? Will Hobbs or Hook Taz? What the fuck?
Well, to be fair, Hook's faster, right? I mean, it just makes sense. That's
Shut
why.
up, John. Fuck off. What are you talking about? Oh, Hook's faster, so it
true.
makes sense. Bro, they were both ringside. Will Hobbs could have jumped in the ring at the same time. But fuck no, Hook's going to put a little chokehold on you. Little ass Hook. God damn, that was dumb. I was like, really? Hook's going to try and make the save? Why doesn't Will Hobbs jump in the ring and try and help? Why did he just try and pull Ricky away? God damn, that was dumb. It didn't work anyways. Brian Cage, he hit the ring. He tried to set up Sting for the powerbomb again, but Darby Allin made the save. They helped Sting beat up Cage a little bit. And that was that. Fucking dumb. That was dumb. But Sting, I'm looking forward to the match because who knows, right? Who knows what's going to happen? Sting and Darby versus Brian Cage and Ricky Starks in a street fight. Could be good. I don't know what they're going to do. I just hope Sting survives because, he's 61, and the last time he had a wrestling match, he barely survived. I think he broke his neck. Right? What happened in his match with Seth? How many injuries did he come out of that with? How many surgeries did he need to fix himself after that? That was his last wrestling match in 2015. Right?
Right.
Okay. So we'll
this
see.
is what makes it exciting. What's going to happen?
Who's winning?
This is a tough one. I going into this, I had Team Taz, but now I feel like it's going to be Sting and Darby Allin.
I think so too. No. I'm going against you. I'm going with Team Taz. I think Team Taz wins because it's non-title for Darby. Team Taz needs to look strong. They keep getting beat up all the time. Like last week, this week, they get beat up. They're on the losing end of the post-match brawl. And also, Sting, when he comes into a new company, usually loses. Went to WWE, first match there, lost to Triple H. I think he should lose his first match here in AEW too. I'm going with Team Taz. They need to win something. Like Darby and Sting, they are not a tag team. They are singles wrestlers in a tag team program. But Team Taz is a team. They should win. They're the real team that needs to go forward as a force. I'm going to go with Team Taz. I think they should win.
Well, going with your heart. Like I don't know. I'm just looking at it like this. It's like you have Sting, like you book him like crazy. Like he's going to be on every week, and he's going to lose his first match. I just find that hard to believe.
Sting is so old that I got this Sting action figure when I was in like the second grade. Okay, look at this thing. It's from 1990. This is how old this guy is. He used to look like this. Second grade.
I remember.
I traded a kid like a Hot Wheels car for this Sting on the school bus. That's
Good
how
trade.
old Sting is. I was in the 2nd grade, and I traded a kid a toy for a Sting action figure. I'm a grown man with a child, and Sting is still wrestling. I was in the 2nd grade. Max Caster was not even born. He beats 10. Max Caster did a nice little rap promo. I like that. Threatened -1 as well.
It was good.
I thought that was good. Yeah, it was a good little promo. He's all right. I like Max Caster. He beats 10 to qualify for the AEW Revolution ladder match. Jack Evans hit 10 with Caster's boombox when the ref's back was turned, which was something Matt Hardy paid him for because, of course, Matt Hardy's beefing with all of the Dark Order, and 10 is in the Dark Order, so Matt making sure that 10 lost. Scorpio Sky was on commentary trying to put himself over during this match. Scorpio Sky is one of these AEW projects that you can tell they're trying to get him over as a single star. It has not worked, and it will never work. Listen to his commentary. You'll find out why.
I don't know about never work. I mean, that's
Never.
pretty harsh to say. I mean,
Never.
wow, that's harsh. He's a good wrestler.
He's 37. As a top guy in a main eventer, come on. He's not getting any better. You know? He's not getting any better.
Bobby Lashley just won the WWE title at 44. I mean, I don't think it's over for him.
Well, he's not better. He's just still there. Like, is Bobby better
Bobby
now
Lashley
than he was 5 years ago? Is he better now? What's better?
Well, better than his last WWE run, without question.
Sure, but I think his Impact run, like his Impact World Champion, probably the peak of Bobby.
I won't disagree with that, but it's a different Lashley though. It's a different company too. So I mean,
I don't think he's better. He's just still around. Scorpio Sky, at 37, maybe his promos will get better. His ring work and his athleticism is going to start to dwindle. And, he's not going to be the AEW World Champion. I mean, maybe he will be. Prove me wrong, Scorpio Sky. Prove me wrong. But from what I've seen, there's a lot of guys ahead of him on this roster, and they try to put him over. They try to make him into a star, and I just don't buy it. The AEW Face of the Revolution ladder match will feature Scorpio Sky, Cody Rhodes, Pentagon, Lance Archer, Preston, Max Caster, not 10, and somebody else. There's another participant in this match, but we don't know who it's going to be. So Cody, Scorp, Penta, Archer, Caster, and question mark. Who? Who?
More than likely, because Dark is going to air on Friday, I think. So they're probably going to have a match to determine that on Dark. I mean, it really could be any number of people, Again, I put over, Matt Sydal as a guy that could potentially be in there.
Yeah, he'd be good. Sydal. Maybe Will Hobbs. Maybe, there's a lot of guys on that roster that could just fit in. They put 10 in this match. If 10 is in the match, anybody could really be in this match. It's not like you have to be of a certain caliber of main event guy in AEW. Anybody could really be in this thing, as long as you're not already booked on this show, which like most of the roster is, because they have a tag team battle royal where everybody else is just tossed into, right? I don't know. I don't know who the mystery opponent's going to be. A lot of mysteries going into this pay-per-view. No mystery that I liked Rusev better than Miro. Miro cut another backstage promo about the match this weekend at Revolution. Said some shit in Bulgarian. He's speaking Bulgarian now. He's trying stuff. He's like, let's try some Bulgarian shit. That might work. They liked me when I was a foreign guy. Maybe I'll speak Bulgarian. That'll get me over. Seems desperate. Rusev has to get it, or Miro, whatever the fuck. He has to get out of this this feud with Orange and Chuck Taylor and move on to something else. Like, I want to see him involved in a good physical angle with somebody with size so that he could, go out there and have some hard-hitting matches. I think that's where Miro shines. Not in matches where he's the big guy with smaller guys. I think Miro shines when he's the big guy with another big guy and they beat the shit out of each other. Miro versus Wardlow. Miro versus Archer. Miro versus Hobbs. Miro versus Cage. Like, those are the matches Miro should be having right now, not Miro versus Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy. And the fact that this is his first program in AEW has fucked him. It doesn't help. It really doesn't. Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy aren't going to help get Miro over as an AEW star. It's not working. And these promos aren't working either. And stop saying game over. No one gives a shit that you play video games. Everybody in AEW has a Twitch channel and plays video games. You're not special, Miro. Everybody in your fucking company, everybody in the wrestling business does it. At this point, if you're a wrestler and you're not on Twitch playing video games, are you even a wrestler? Because, I mean, it seems like every wrestler, non-WWE, because now they're not allowed to do it, but before, when they were allowed, everybody on every roster had a Twitch channel playing video games. And Rusev is trying to turn it into a gimmick, but it's not a gimmick. Everybody's doing it. Evil Uno does it. I think everybody in the Dark Order does it. Every indie wrestler does it. Johnny North, I'm surprised you're not doing it. Like, everybody's doing it, And Miro's like, oh, it's my gimmick. Okay. Good gimmick, bro. How about your gimmick is you like spandex? Like, you tan. Like, fuck, everybody does that, bro. So Miro and Kip Sabian are taking on the Best Friends in a tag team match. This will be a match I could skip. I don't need to see this.
I think the match will be all right. I think Miro and Kip are probably going to win this match, so they'll finally end this feud, I think.
Okay. Who wins?
I just said I think Miro and Kip are going to win this match. Yeah.
Ugh. So why did Orange Cassidy lose to beat Chris Jericho on pay-per-view? If he's losing to Kip Sabian. Why?
He won't take the loss, don't worry. Like, it will be Chuck Taylor. Chuck Taylor in the game over, I think that's going to be the finish.
All right. I agree. I think that should happen. I just got a text from our production team that it says apparently we have some things for us to connect to do some video game streaming. So we might actually be doing that too. I might be playing video games on Twitch for you guys, okay? Talking wrestling, playing games, talking shit. Might happen. Talk more than wrestling.
Can I recommend a game?
No, because your games are like too nerdy for me. Your games are too hard and like RPG, I'm just playing Animal Crossing and Mario Kart, man. Leave me alone. Keep it simple.
I just wanted you to play the WWF game. I got you.
Which one's that? Battlegrounds?
I think it was Battleground. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've played that. It's better than the other one they put out, 2K18 or whatever the hell. It's not good. I mean, it's not the best. I've played better wrestling games. I'll put it that way. I mean, I enjoyed part of it, but Battlegrounds is not the best wrestling game out there. I really hope that AEW wrestling game is good. I don't think there's been like anticipation for me. And again, I'm going to date myself here, but I don't think I've had as much anticipation for a wrestling game with this AEW game, not since WCW versus NWO World Tour. Have I been this hyped about a new wrestling game coming out? And that's old school, baby. That was the first wrestling game that came out on the Nintendo 64. WCW versus NWO World Tour. Remember that? Aki-Man and all those guys?
Revenge is better.
Yeah, I know, but like World Tour was the first one. So like that was what I was hyped for. Revenge was better, but wasn't No Mercy the best?
No Mercy was the best, but there was WrestleMania before that. WrestleMania was okay at best.
It was pretty good. I think Revenge was better than WrestleMania, though. The Goldberg in
Yeah.
Revenge was like unbeatable. Unbeatable. Remember that? Goldberg was like so strong because at the time he was like undefeated, so he was like a 99 in the game. Better than Hogan. Better than everybody. Couldn't beat
Well,
Goldberg.
you just had a great variety because it was WCW roster, so it was so massive. And they just added so much more to the gameplay of what made World Tour good, and they just added more into Revenge. So, and
Yeah.
plus you had the title things. It was just better game.
Well, hopefully AEW's game will be as good, if not better, than those classic games. I mean, at least it's got to be better than Battlegrounds. It's got to be.
See, I kind of want you to see you play it just because you how much you talk about it. Like it's interesting.
I mean, I'll play it. It's not terrible. It's not the worst game, but it's just kind of like, It's not like I play it for a bit and I'll be like, okay, that's enough. Like, it's not a game you really want to sit down and play for a while. It's like, okay, you get it, you play it, you get the picture. It's very limited in what you can do. Like, the moveset is super limited. It's not that fun. But the graphics are kind of cool and the gimmicks are cool and the roster's pretty deep. But you have to, like, it's too much unlocking and it takes forever to unlock and they want you to, like, pay for certain things to unlock them faster. And I'm like, fuck you. I'm not paying money to unlock characters in a game that I don't even fucking like. Dicks. I hate that shit. Where you gotta pay to unlock shit. Fuck that. Animal Crossing has a new update for the game like every month, and it's free. You just have to pay the $20 a year for the Nintendo Switch Online service. I'm not paid by Nintendo, but I fucking should be because I love Nintendo. They do video games right. They put games out. They give you updates. They put out all this new Mario stuff in Animal Crossing. I don't have to pay to get that shit. It just happens in the game. Fucking tremendous. Anyways, John Silver and Hangman Page beat Mark Quinn and Matt Hardy tonight. Mark Quinn reemerged. He's back. The Quinn is back. Return of the Quinn. He lost, though. Hangman got the pin on Mark Quinn after the buckshot lariat. Matt attacked Hangman after the match. The Dark Order showed up. And then all the tag teams from the Tag Team Battle Royal showed up and brawled. And that was the end of Dynamite. Good episode of Dynamite. Started off real hot. Can't help but wonder if they shouldn't have ended the show with the Shaq match.
No, not ended. No, start was the best.
Really?
Well, yeah, because I mean, the wrestling got better. I mean, you can't go like to that low of wrestling. That was the lowest wrestling you saw pretty much for that match. Not that it was like the worst thing, but it's like you saw like actual wrestling. Then to go like to a lower wrestling to end the show, it wouldn't have been as good, the Shaq match, if that was the case.
Maybe. But I feel like that match had the most buzz of any match on the card tonight.
It did.
Was it the match of the night? I'd say it was.
Again, we're not counting NXT because I thought NXT again had the match of the night, but for
they?
AEW,
What'd they do?
oh yeah, Finn Balor, Roderick Strong was their main event. I mean,
Oh,
that was easily, yeah.
I saw a bit of
But,
the tag team title match there. Shayna and Nia retained their belts. Saw that.
That finish sucked. Such a terrible finish.
What happened?
It's just like Shayna put the choke on, the ref got knocked out, and then I think it was Gonzalez and Nia went over the table. Another ref came in. Shayna put the choke on again. The ref rang for the bell. Like, so much confusion just for like a nothing finish.
Yeah, sounds like a dud. All
Yep.
right. Well, but match of the night tonight, I'm giving it to Shaq and Cargill versus Cody and Velvet. I mean, I'd say the 6-man was pretty close. Tully and FTR against Jurassic Express, but there was a lot of nonsense there, and I don't know. Just because the Shaq powerbomb, the Shaq chop, the Shaq bump through the tables, Jade Cargill looking like a decent professional wrestler, I'm going to give that match of the night. Was it the best technical wrestling match of the night? Probably not, but was it the match that I enjoyed the most? Fuck yeah. I like that more than anything else on this show. Right?
Well, I think that's it. Like in terms of like what was the best wrestling match, I thought the 6 man. I think it helped a lot to have Tully in there. It just felt like wow, like to see this is kind of incredible kind of thing. I thought there were some very good moves too in that match. But in terms of what I was most excited about, really it was the Shaq match because I was amazed what they pulled off in that match. I was impressed with all of them actually. I thought they all did very well.
Yeah. I thought the show was good tonight. Let's get to Revolution on Sunday. Let's preview this thing. Who wins?
You did a little bit already.
Yeah, we've kind of got to it, but we haven't done the whole thing. Who wins the Face of the Revolution ladder match for a TNT title shot? I'm going to say I'd like it to be Pentagon because I think Pentagon and Darby Allin would have a kick-ass match. Like, kick-ass.
Of course.
You know? But I think it'll be Cody because, like, you know, Cody.
Oh, damn. I had the same thing, too, because, yeah, the exact same thinking you did, actually. Where it's like, yeah, this guy would be good, this guy would be good, but it's going to be Cody.
Yeah, right? Like, you know? It's got to be Cody.
Not that I have a problem with that. I mean, it'll still be a good match, I think, but, I mean, you have to think about this. I mean, Cody just took a loss, if you think about it. So he's got to come back in a sense. He never got his rematch against Darby. So this gives him the rematch. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense for Cody to win this.
Yep. That's why, like, you know, Cody and Darby have that story. Cody lost the title to Darby. They have a history. Cody's in this match. The winner of the match gets a shot at Darby. Nobody else really makes sense. Goddamn Pentagon would be fun, though. Lance Archer and Darby Allin would be pretty good, too, because it's like, well, can Darby beat this guy? That'd be an interesting match. Archer versus Darby. Is Archer a heel or a babyface?
I think he's more of a face, but I guess obviously he can face anybody. He's kind of like that badass face in a sense.
So he wrestled Rey Fenix last week, right? Who was the heel in that match? Was there a heel?
No, it was face versus face.
Cool. I'm just checking. I'm just not sure where anybody lies anymore. Because Lance Archer has Jake Roberts as his manager, and Jake seems like a heel, but Archer's kind of booked as a babyface. It's strange. I could see Archer winning, though, and taking on Darby. Oh, and then Sting and Jake could have, like, a confrontation. That'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be cool, but I don't see that happening, though, sadly.
I want to see Sting and Jake have, like, a match again. Do that.
Like
a
I
tag
don't know if
match.
Jake could do that, sadly.
A tag. Him and Lance against Darby and Sting. Oh, shit. I mean, fuck, you're bringing Tully out there. You brought J.J. Dillon. Come on, man. Let's have some fun. Jake versus Sting. Be like Halloween Havoc 90-something all over again. Right?
I think it was, I want to say 94. Something like that.
I feel like it might have been 95, but you might be right. WCW Halloween Havoc 1994. Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair.
It may have been 93 then, actually.
Yeah, I think it might have been earlier. Yeah, it might have been 93. No, that was Vader versus Cactus. Where was Sting on this card? He beat Sid. Sting beat Sid in 93. I think it might have been 95. The Giant beat Hogan. Sting and Flair beat Pillman and Arn. God damn. Could have been, maybe it was 92? Did they ever wrestle? Yeah,
really
I think 92,
ago.
baby. The Coal Miner's Glove. 1992 Halloween Havoc. That's how old we are, John. It's even earlier than you thought. Sting versus Jake back in 1992.
I remember the promo for that. They did the whole spin the wheel, make a deal kind of thing.
Yeah. Classic shit.
Yeah.
Barry Windham and Dustin Rhodes beat Steve Williams and Steve Austin in that match. Oh, no, it was a time limit draw. But Barry Windham and Dustin Rhodes. Look, I said Barry Windham before. His tag team partner, Dustin's still wrestling. Let's bring Barry
Well,
Windham
Dustin's
back.
got a new partner now, but
Whatever.
yeah, it'd be cool to see Barry come back. But
I'm telling you.
I mean, do you really need it? I don't know.
I don't think you need it, but I could see it happening, and it would make sense. People like Barry. There's a whole generation of guys that love Barry Windham. Not necessarily us, but I think a little bit older.
I don't mind. I don't
a little bit
mind
more
Barry.
southern.
He was fine.
Yeah, but we didn't grow up on Barry Windham like other guys did. You know what I mean? But I hear a lot of wrestlers and a lot of people around wrestling talk about Barry Windham with a lot of reverence. For me, he was like I never really saw him in his prime. He was like a new Blackjack.
Right. Well, for whatever reason, I think he was just better in WCW than he was in WWF. Like in WWF, it just didn't work out for him, but in WCW, he was actually pretty good.
Yeah. Well, that's it. You hear a lot of people talk about him, but I never really saw the great Barry Windham, so bring him back. I'm sure people would pop for that. Okay, what else do we have on this pay-per-view? We've got Team Taz versus Darby and Sting. We broke that down. You think Darby and Sting are going to win, and I'm going with Team Taz. We got Shida versus Ryo Mizunami. We both think Shida's going to win. How about the Young Bucks defending the tag team titles against Jericho and MJF? I think the Bucks retain. I don't think Jericho and MJF take the titles here. I think that they lose the match, and we continue to see the Inner Circle splinter and feud, and maybe this causes a real rift between Jericho and MJF. I think this is just going to continue the Inner Circle turmoil. Sammy Guevara might get involved here, but I think no matter what happens, the Young Bucks retain. Maybe Sammy cost Jericho and MJF the match, but there's going to be some sort of Inner Circle beefing that's going to help the Young Bucks win.
Yeah, I thought Sammy, in some capacity, would kind of screw them over. So, yeah, that's the way I had going into this.
That's it. Is there a chance that the Bucks' father comes and helps them win?
I don't think it's really necessary. I mean, if anything, you'd have the Good Brothers maybe do a thing where they try to help, but it kind of backfires and looks like the Bucks might get screwed over, but they'll still win because I think Sammy, in the end, will screw over the Inner Circle.
Yep. Hangman Page versus Matt Hardy. It is the big money match. The winner will receive the loser's 2021 first quarter earnings. Okay. I think the match should be good. This could steal the show, quite honestly. I think it's going to be good. I'm a big fan of Hangman. I think Matt Hardy's great. This is a one-on-one match with no stipulation. There's stipulation, but there's no gimmick, It's just a straight match. And I think it's the only one-on-one match on this card. Other than the singles match for the Women's World title. This is the only other just straight-up wrestling match on this card, so I'm hoping it delivers. I really do. I think Hangman wins, though. Hangman for sure wins.
It's probably going to be the opener, I would think.
Hangman's got to win, though, right? Yeah?
He doesn't have to win. I mean, you can do a bunch of, screwing him over, but I don't think you need to do that. I think just give him the win.
It would kind of
building him to
but it would fit Matt's.
champion.
It would fit Matt's gimmick to have all the money. How does Matt react to losing his money? He's big money Matt. He's really going to lose his 2021 first quarter earnings.
He'll survive. He'll live.
All right. I think Hangman wins because he's Hangman. You want to push Hangman. He's a future champion of the company. He's the man. Going with Hangman Page. Gotta love Hangman. And look at this sweet Hangman action figure I got here. I'm getting all these cool AEW toys for my son. He is loving them. His Hangman toy, he was like, oh my God. He went bananas when he saw Hangman. People think these toys are mine. These are my son's toys that I borrow. And I'm only allowed to have them on the desk now because he's asleep. People are like, oh, Dave, why are you playing with toys? I'm not playing with toys. I mean, sometimes I play with toys. Sometimes I play with toys because my son is like, hey, come play with the wrestlers. And then I do, and I play with the wrestlers with him. But, I'm not collecting these for myself. These are for my boy because he loves them.
people didn't see this one time. Like he was very upset that you took them, and he took them all back one time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he takes them. He steals them from me. He's like, no, you can't take. These are mine. He gets mad. He takes them from me. He loves AEW, though. He really loved the Darby Allin. When he got that, he was so pumped. Hangman Page, so pumped. Wait until he sees the Ray Phoenix and Pentagon that I got for him. He's going to lose his shit. I got an Orange Cassidy, too, for him. I got all sorts of toys just waiting for him. I'm a good dad. What else is going on here? Okay, let's do this. The exploding barbed wire death match, which we saw very little of tonight. Like, the hype for this match was not really happening tonight, right? Like, we had one little promo with JR and Shivani and Onita, because we're supposed to know who Onita is. How many people, like, we're pretty big wrestling fans, right? We watch a lot of wrestling. How many people do you think watching AEW tonight knew who the fuck that old Japanese guy was? Really?
Well, I just put it where it's in the sense that they're showing Onita, and the guy's doing the voiceover, so I'm like, well, that must be him doing the voiceover.
You got to guess. Because nobody knows who it's not like you're showing Terry Funk or Hulk Hogan or somebody that people are familiar with. You're showing a Japanese wrestler that, like, a very small percentage of people saw in, like, the 90s. Most people don't know who fucking J.J. Dillon is when you wheel him out, let alone Onita. Anyways.
I feel JJ is more well known because he was in WWF too.
Yeah, but a long time ago. Like, Max Caster was not born when J.J. Dillon stopped being in wrestling. You know?
You're not wrong, but again, like, because, you know, there's a network, I mean, people can still watch things back then. I mean, with Japanese wrestling, it's a lot harder, but at least with WWF and WCW, it kind of lives on for a lot of people.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know exactly who he is. I'm not really sure who Onita is. Anyways, I know who Kenny Omega is. I know who Jon Moxley is. And I understand what barbed wire is. And I've seen explosions. So, the exploding barbed wire death match for the AEW World Championship. I believe Kenny will win this one. This could either be great. This could be the greatest exploding barbed wire death match in the history of exploding barbed wire death matches. This could be a match that we have never seen before, and, you know, a caliber of match that maybe we'll never see again. This could be incredible. Or this could be the drizzling shits. I'm on the fence. I have no idea what this is going to be. Good, bad, whatever. I don't know. I think it could be good, but I also think it could be very, very bad. I'm hoping it's good because I'm going to be watching, and I'd rather see a good match. Although sometimes bad matches are just as fun. Kenny versus Mox. I don't see Kenny dropping the title here. I think he beats Moxley, and then Moxley goes away for a little while to hang out with Renee while she's pregnant, and then gives birth to their first child. I think this is going to be a way to write Moxley off for a little while. Kenny will win. It'll be brutal. It'll be violent. There'll be blood. There'll be explosions. There has to be blood and explosions, right? Imagine an exploding barbed wire death match where it's just like, nobody exploded. They just never got to it. The explosives were there, but it just never happened. Like, somebody's going to explode. I got Kenny. Best bout machine. I've got faith in him. His promos leading up to this have been not great. But in the ring, I believe in Kenny Omega. I do think he's the number one wrestler in the world today. He's brilliant. He's a legend. I think he's going to pull this one out. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm leaning towards awesome. I'm excited for this. And I'm for sure thinking Kenny will retain the AEW World title. Johnny, Kenny retains here?
Yeah, I got Kenny retaining this. And in terms of this going to be a good match or not, it's just going to be a violent fight, pretty much. It's not I wouldn't put wrestling in the term for this match. It's just going to be extreme. Just going to be a lot of like explosions, like you said, a lot of running into barbed wire and blood. I mean, it's just going to be a hardcore match. That's what you're getting. Will it be a good hardcore match? I think it'll be good for hardcore sense. Like, and you don't usually see these kind of matches. I don't imagine they're going to have it where it's going to be subpar. It's their main event match, so they're going to try to make it the best they possibly can. The big question, I guess, they'll have to deal with is will the explosions work or not? I mean, you hope they work right, and maybe they won't work. So
Goddamn.
that might determine if the match is good or not. So we have to wait and see on that one. But the thing is, I'm sure there'll be a bunch of different setups where they'll have it where if one thing doesn't go off, they'll have another thing to go off. So I expect a lot of pain in this match for these guys. They're gonna really put their bodies through hell.
Yeah, I think that they're definitely going to go through it. I think no matter what happens, even if things go wrong and it's kind of fucked up and it's like a mess of a match, even if it sucks, it's going to fucking hurt for both of them, Like, even if it's terrible and you're like, God damn, that was bad, it's going to be brutal either way. It's going to be rough, and they're both going to walk away hurting pretty bad, I think. So they're going to give it their all, but Kenny retains. He's got to. Still AEW World Champion. Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega. Maybe Okada can come challenge him after that. See some fucking real wrestling here from Kenny again. I miss that, Kenny. Bear Country. This is a casino tag team battle royal for a future AEW World Tag Team title match. It's a mouthful. Here's who's in this match. Everybody else in AEW, pretty much. Pretty much everybody. You have Bear Country, the Bears. The Dark Order, Silver and Reynolds. The Dark Order, Uno and Grayson. The Inner Circle, Santana and Ortiz. Butcher and Blade. Private Party. Top Flight. Pac and Phoenix. The Varsity Blondes, Griff and Pillman. The Sydal brothers, Matt and Mike. SCU, Kazarian and Daniels. The Natural Nightmares, Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall. And Chaos Project, Luther and Serpentico. Apparently there's going to be another team added to this one. Now, wasn't the deal with Kazarian and Daniels if they lost another match together, they would never team again?
That's correct.
Does this count?
I would think so.
So they have to win?
They have to win.
So they're going to win.
They'd be my pick unless the Good Brothers are in this, which I don't think they are. So if they're not, I'm going with SCU.
I'm going with SCU as well. Given the gimmick, given the stipulation, you would think that SCU, because they're teaming together, and if they lose another match, they'll never team together again. I don't think they have their breakup in a throwaway battle royal like this, right? You get eliminated in a tag team battle royal, and, that's the end of the tag team? Just like that? Like, that seems a little weird. I think you do it in a tag team title match. I think they will do it. I think they're going to win this battle royal. They're going to face the Young Bucks in a tag title match at some point on Dynamite. They're going to lose, and then they'll break up. Right?
Well, they could win too. I wouldn't mind that. But yeah, I think they're going to get past this at least. They should.
No. I disagree. I called somebody.
Don't think they're going to get past this?
I called Kenny Omega a legend, and people, I see in somebody doesn't like that. Some people just hate Kenny Omega for no reason in particular. Whatever.
Well, he won a lot of awards, and I think some people were mad about that.
Some people are so mad about that. They're so mad. Who gives a shit what the readers of the Wrestling Observer fucking vote for? They're all AEW super fans. You think they're not going to vote for AEW? Guys, what's the name of the Young Bucks finishing move? It's the fucking Meltzer driver. They named their finisher after the guy. You think that's not going to sway his opinion and his people's opinions? Come on now. If the Young Bucks name their finishing move the Dave Simon Driver, you don't think I would be on this show saying the fucking Young Bucks are the greatest thing ever? They're the shit. How could you think they're not good? Look how cool they are. Look at their moves. They're so cool. They're so good. Oh, yeah, they named a move after me. Whatever. That has nothing to do with it. Okay. Kenny Omega starts doing the Dave Simon kick. You don't think I'm going to say, oh, like if The Miz was like, oh, fuck it. I'm sick of this guy, Dave Simon. He's always shitting on me. It's not the skull-crushing finale. Now it's the Dave Simon finale. The Simonator. I'd be like, oh, Miz, you're the best wrestler in the world. I mean, I don't know if I'd say that, but I would definitely fucking praise him. I would definitely, give him some accolades, right? So people are mad that. Well, come on, bro. If who do you not like? If John Cena was like, it's not the attitude adjustment anymore. It's a Johnny North special. And he starts fucking hitting at people with it. You're not going to have a soft spot for John Cena after that? I know you don't like John Cena, but come on now, Johnny. If he named a move after you, you'd show him a little extra love, especially if you liked him to begin with, right? Come on now.
Oh, I tell him you better change the name of that move, actually. I'm kind of not pissed off then if he does that, to be honest.
Yeah, you're an idiot. You shouldn't do that. It's good promo for you, brother. It's good promo. You shouldn't do that. But come on now. Like, everybody's mad that the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and AEW won all these Wrestling Observer Awards. I'll be honest, this is the first time I ever really heard about the Wrestling Observer Awards. I don't give a shit. Who cares? Some readers of a fucking newsletter voted for some guys, and now a bunch of people in wrestling are all up in arms and all mad? Come on now. Come on now. And for some guy's opinion to mean so much to you, ridiculous. Like, if Dave Meltzer gives a match fucking 5 stars and gives another match 2, but I happen to like the 2-star better, do I think I'm wrong? No. If some fucking movie critic says this movie sucked, and you go and you see it and you're like, I actually liked it, are you wrong? No. You are not wrong. If you like music that music critics shit on, are you wrong? Art is subjective. There is no right or wrong opinion. And the Meltzers and whoever the fuck in this world can try and convince you that there is a right or wrong opinion on art. There is not. You can have whatever opinion you want about professional wrestling. You could like Kenny Omega. You could dislike Kenny Omega. Just be sure that the opinion you have is actually your own opinion and not some shit you heard from Jim Cornette or Dave Meltzer, right? Or Dave Simon or Johnny North. Come up with your own fucking opinions. Be a free thinker. Watch the show. If you like something, like it. If you don't like something, you don't have to like it. If everybody likes the Young Bucks and you think, oh, they're kind of spotty and their work looks a little phony, you don't have to like the Young Bucks. And I get it. Sometimes their shit does look a little phony. But for the most part, they're pretty damn exciting. They're pretty damn entertaining. You could say there's a lot of lack of booking logic in AEW, and some shit they do is bad. Yes. And this is why our show is the best AEW recap review show in the world today. And I believe that. I believe our version of AEW, our assessment of AEW, is the number one AEW show out there. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you either have, and this is what I've noticed with AEW, right? WWE, you have more nuanced opinions. But with AEW, you have the Meltzer camp, where everything in AEW is the greatest thing I've ever fucking seen, and it's better than anything WWE's ever done, which is ridiculous, right? Because the best of the WWE, AEW hasn't touched that. They haven't come close. Like, let's be really real. If you're a wrestling fan, like the best WWE shit that they've ever done, like Stone Cold and shit like that, I mean, AEW hasn't come close to that. Okay? So Don't tell me that everything AEW does is fucking perfect and great and brilliant. But then there's the other side. There's like the Cornette people that are like, everything AEW does is stupid and hokey, and they're kids, and they're small, and they don't know how to wrestle, and they're backyarders, and they're outlaws, and blah, blah, blah. And that's dumb too. Okay? Because not everything is one way or the other. And AEW, there are great moments in AEW, and there are shitty moments in AEW. And I am going to give you the great moments, and I'm going to give you the shitty moments. I believe AEW Dynamite is the number one wrestling show going today. On a weekly television basis, the ones that I watch, I like AEW better than all the other shows. But it's not a perfect show. It's not perfect. There are mistakes, there are growing pains, and there are things that just don't make sense. Shaq got beat. He was unconscious. He was put in an ambulance. He disappeared from the ambulance. He's a 7-foot, 400-pound man. He shouldn't be hard to find. He disappears, and you don't fucking follow up for the rest of the show? That was dumb. Every week, somebody gets kidnapped on AEW TV? That's dumb. Right? But to say Kenny Omega is a bad wrestler, I mean, that is a wrong opinion. Like, you could say you don't like Kenny or he's not, like, but to say that he's bad or he doesn't know what he's doing or he's a bad wrestler, like, I mean, I respect Jim Cornette because he's a guy that's dedicated his life to professional wrestling. He knows a lot about wrestling. He knows way more about wrestling than I ever have, right? Like, the guy has forgot more about wrestling than I will ever know, which is saying something because I've dedicated my life to pro wrestling. But he's much older, so he's had longer time to watch wrestling. And he's been involved in a much deeper way, right? So Cornette, he knows wrestling. But his, like, hard-on for hating on Kenny Omega is, like, a little... It's strange, you know? And it borders on homophobic sometimes with some of the shit he says. So I feel like he's got ulterior motives, you know? And there's a lot of these guys that have ulterior motives. Cornette, he's got his people, he's got his cult, he's got his ulterior motives. He hates the Young Bucks, he hates Kenny Omega for his various reasons and his various interactions with them because he's had actual interactions with these guys. He's met them in real life. And that clouds his judgment because he has had real interactions with the real guys. And Dave Meltzer has had real interactions with the real guys, and that's clouded his judgment. You know who's never met Kenny Omega or the Young Bucks? This guy. I don't know these fucking guys. I just know what I see on TV, and that's how I judge them. Imagine that. Judging them based solely on their work and their performances. And that's why the Wrestling Uncensored Ringside Report Network is the realest AEW recap show out there. Because we know professional wrestling, we eat, sleep, and breathe professional wrestling, and we tell it like it is. We tell it how we see it. And I see it one way, and Johnny sees it another way. And sometimes we see it the same way, but sometimes we disagree. And you know what? Johnny knows what the fuck he's talking about, and so do I. And we respect each other's opinions, and sometimes we disagree. And that's fine. Do I think Johnny is a stupid wrestling fan because he loves Randy Orton? Hell no. Do I disagree with him? Of course I do. But I still respect his opinion. I respect Dave Meltzer's opinion. I respect Jim Cornette's opinion. But to treat it as gospel, like a lot of these wrestling fans do, is ridiculous. Think for yourself. And if you don't have the capacity to think for yourself, let me do the thinking for you. I'll deal with it. I'll take care of it. Because my thinking is clear. Rant over. Thank you, John.
Yeah, you're welcome. So that's a great night of the Dynamite. We'll see what happens Sunday.
That concludes the show for
Hopefully,
tonight. Johnny North, wrap it up.
You know, Manscaped. Everyone should always Manscape. Manscape's very important for you. It's always good to stay nice and clean down there.
Yes.
Promo code Ringside 20. 20% off.
Get it, John.
Well, that's pretty much it for the Manscaped thing, but I appreciate the full screen like that. Appreciate that a lot. You can see my cool photo back there, full right there. Me and Jeremy Prophet. That's pretty awesome. And to the side right there, yeah, Ringside 20 promo code. Use it to get 20% off your order for Manscaped. I definitely find it's needed. Like, I don't know. I know Fred apparently doesn't like to use it, but I think it's great to use regardless.
What? Fred's using it? What are you talking about?
Oh, Fred said he wasn't using it, actually. I don't know if you heard the last watch log you guys did. Fred said he wasn't using it, but I think everyone should still use it because it's still important, in my opinion.
Yes, everybody should be using the great Manscaped products. Go to manscaped.com, use that promo code Ringside20. Good God almighty. All right, I'll be back here tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, for the Ringside Report MMA UFC 259 preview show. We will preview UFC 259 here tomorrow night, giving you all kinds of winners. I gave you a bunch of winners last week. Like, good God. If you bet with me last week, you fucking cashed in. We made money last week, okay? I made money last week, baby.
Wasn't there a draw, though?
Yeah, but the draw was a push. AJ fucked me. AJ on the watch-along last week, he's like, oh, a draw, that means you lose. The house always wins, but you can't bet on the draw. And I'm like, wait a second, that doesn't make sense. If you can't bet on the draw, shouldn't the draw be a push? Shouldn't you get your money back if you bet on a fight and it's a draw if you can't bet on the draw? And AJ's like, no, the house always wins. And I'm like, that doesn't really make sense. And then we checked after the show. Turns out AJ was wrong. If you had a parlay,
okay.
like if you had a parlay, which I gave you a sick parlay. Let me tell you the parlay I gave you before we wrap up here. Just to tell you to tune in to Ringside Report MMA tomorrow night. Even if you don't like fighting, I know you
Actually, later tonight.
I know you like winning money, right? So I'm going to help you win some money. So this was my 6-fight parlay that won. AJ's parlay won too. But mine was better because I had a 6-fight parlay and it came through, okay? I told you Dustin Jacoby over Maxime Grishin. Alexis Davis, 235 favorite. She came in. She beat Sabina Mazo. Told you about Alex Caceres winning. We thought Montana De La Rosa would get the win. That came out a draw, so we didn't get anything there. Told you about Ankalaev. Told you about Cyril Gann. Everybody we picked last week was a winner. We had one draw, but who cares? It's a push, so you're still winning money. We did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. Tremendous weekend last weekend. We're going to give you another big weekend this weekend. And I'm going to give you a little tease. I like the dog in the main event. All right? Magic rope. Magic rope. Somebody's O's going to go, I think. I'm picking Jan Blachowicz. All right? Not fucking around. I'm going with Jan. Jan the man from Poland, okay? And we'll talk about the rest of that shit, and I'll tell you why tomorrow night, UFC 259 preview right here, 8 p.m. on Ringside Report MMA. Follow Johnny North at North Genesis on Twitter, at Genesis Johnny North on Instagram. Follow me on all the things at Dave Simon MMA. A big shout-out to Angelo, to all of our members on the team. Patrick C. Hamilton. Who else was in the chat here tonight that is a member? Patrick, Angelo, Doug Hepburn, Craig Paquette. Shout out to you guys. You guys are keeping us going. Members of the channel. Don't forget to become a member. Don't forget to like this video. Subscribe to the channel. When you subscribe, you click that bell so you get notifications every single time that we are on. And go to merch.ringsidereport.net. Buy yourself some cool Ringside Report merch. Merch.ringsidereport.net. And sign up, become a member. Donate at donate.ringsidereport.net. For Johnny, I'm Dave. We'll be back here tomorrow night, 8 p.m. for the UFC 259 watch-along. And we'll be back for some more AEW talk on Sunday night for the AEW Revolution post-show. And don't forget, Johnny and I will be back on...
You said the UFC watch-along tomorrow? What?
Oh, so, no. UFC preview tomorrow. There's so much going on,
right.
John. I'm getting lost, okay? It's a UFC 259 preview tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Friday night at 10 p.m., Johnny and I are going to recap SmackDown. After SmackDown, Johnny and I will be back. Saturday night, 10 p.m., that's the UFC 259 watch-along. Sunday night, around 11, 10:30, 11. When's the AEW pay-per-view going to be over? 11?
Oh, I hope 11. Maybe midnight. Wait and see.
Fuck. Well, whatever. After the AEW pay-per-view, we'll be on here Sunday night. So every night from here till next Tuesday, we'll be on, right? We're on tonight.
Oh, you will.
We're on tonight for Dynamite, tomorrow night for UFC 259 preview, Friday night after SmackDown, Saturday night for the UFC 259 watch-along, Sunday night for the AEW Revolution recap, and then back with you Monday for the Raw recap. We never stop here at the Ringside Report Network. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger. We'll see you again soon, baby!
Thank you and good night.
Please join in and give your support to Ringside Report Network. We've been providing expert coverage and commentary on both pro wrestling and MMA for over 15 years. Ringside Report started on the radio, added podcasts, and moved to video in 2019. Our hosts are not just fans, but have in-depth knowledge of the subjects. Become a member of our YouTube channel now and become a recurring supporter of our work as we strive to continue to entertain you in these strange times. Pro wrestler Johnny Genesis North joins lifelong wrestling fan and aficionado Dave Simon to host our pro wrestling programming with in-depth coverage of the WWE, AEW, and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Our flagship show, Wrestling Uncensored, is live every Friday right after WWE SmackDown. Here, you get a review of the week that was. You may not agree with our host. In fact, they often don't agree with each other. But you have an opportunity to chime in with your viewpoint in the chat rooms while live or in the comments section of YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook on the replay. Dave and Johnny also headline our coverage of major pro wrestling pay-per-views and breaking news. Dave Simon is joined by experienced jiu-jitsu fighters Fred Garcia and the ever-unpredictable AJ DeLesio, each Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern with Ringside Report MMA. They try and foresee what's next in the octagon and review, argue, and kibitz in a very friendly, irreverent manner. The three guys also team up to accompany you on all the major UFC pay-per-views with entertaining watch-alongs. Go to ringsidereport.net/support to find out more ways to support the channel.